Meeting of the Organic Living Club, and unfortunately our first speaker got laryngitis and cannot show.
Ouch.
And my alternative speaker let me know 10 minutes ago that she couldn't show. So does anyone have an organic gardening topic they would like for me to discuss tonight?
How do you get started if you've never done any organic plants like tomato?
That's a great topic. Anybody? Any other topics?
Yeah, but every time I say, oh, yes, it kicks it out.
You're giving me a few minutes to think. We've got some other things to do before we get started.
Preparing for a spring garden, preparing for what do you need to do during this
Period of
time?
time.
Is there any options for anything you can plant now?
A couple of chairs up here.
You guys are together?
I'd like to thank, for goodness sake, for having our meeting here today, and last month, and next month our meeting will be here also. So 3 months in a row. We appreciate that. Our mission is to educate our members and the public about living an organic, sustainable, and natural lifestyle. And as usual, I'm going to go ahead and give you the disclaimers, as I must do before every meeting. The information in any literature provided or product recommended is not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Advice and suggestions offered here tonight are the opinions of the individual speaking and do not constitute legal or medical advice. The mention of any product, both common or trade name, does not constitute an endorsement, and do not discontinue medical care without first consulting with a qualified health care provider. Should you know of a qualified health care provider, we'd really like to know. So please pay attention to our website, which is www.organiclivingclub.org for future meetings. And those are all my disclaimers and everything else that I need to make. We usually begin with introductions. And you would like to be a member, please sign this list. We do not sit. I'm sorry about Mark Smith. He called today at about 2 o'clock. He didn't call. His associate from Houston called and said, Mark texted me to see if I could lecture this evening. And he said, I can't make it from Houston to New Braunfels in 4 hours because I've got other things that I have to do. So Mark has a sore throat and can't speak. So then I called around and tried to find other people, and my last person just told me, like I say, about 15 minutes ago, that she couldn't speak tonight, so I'll try and fill in the best I can. Let's start out with what you need to be doing this time of the year in your garden. A lot of people are saying, well, it's January, we generally don't do anything, the garden's kind of dead. If you don't have a garden, it's a great time to start preparing for one. And what I tell people to do may not be what you want to do, because I operate a little differently than most people. I operate by growing things in barrels. To me, it's much easier. But if you don't want to grow barrels, I've done gardens before, organic gardens, and this is a time of the year that typically if you don't have greens of some kind, be they mustard greens or collard greens or beets, carrots, those sort of things, you're typically tilling the soil. Why would you till the soil this time of the year? Any ideas?
It's softer.
Take advantage of freezing weather. Freezes kill a lot of weed seed. And when you till, you expose these weed seed. And so you would till, and then have a freeze come by, and then till again, and boy, we're getting these freezes about once a week. So you can till, and you'll kill a lot of weed seed. Does it hurt the soil? Yes, it does. That's why I go to container garden, because it does hurt the soil. But if you've had an area that's never been a garden before, and you're trying to establish a garden for the first time, this may not be a bad thing to do. You'll kill a lot of weed seed. Again, if you've got St. Augustine or Bermuda or something else and you're trying to establish a garden, rototilling exposing these roots to the environment, especially a freeze. It kills it. Come again next week and do it again. It'll kill some more. Again the third week. By the time spring gets here, there isn't a whole lot that's going to grow in that soil as far as weeds go, except for the summer weeds. And you will get those that maybe don't die. But it's a great time to do that. Yes, ma'am?
Why does tilling harm the soil?
Well, anytime you expose the soil to the atmosphere, you kill or you upset the balance of nature. Underneath the ground, we've got things like bacteria and fungi, both beneficial and bad, that are living underground. You've got anemones, excuse me, help me out.
Enemies.
Pardon?
Enemies.
Amoebas, thank you. I'm dyslexic, so.
You know about it.
Amoebas.
Yes.
We've got some other things, you know, all kinds of blastomyces, actinomyces, streptomyces, lots of different bacteria and organisms underground, including earthworms and other organisms. When you till the soil, well, first of all, have you ever driven by a field that's been freshly plowed? You smell what you think is earth. What you're smelling is millions or trillions or billions or quadrillions or whatever you want to call it of living organisms actually dying. And that's what happens during the wintertime. You're exposing these organisms to the sun or to the atmosphere and it kills them. Yes, sir?
And usually you see a lot of birds working in the soil too on that tilling.
They're after grubs, they're after earthworms, they're after anything that they can scavenge from the soil to eat. They largely the macroorganisms that are in the soil, like the grubs and the earthworms. Yes, sir?
At what depth should you till?
What depth should you till? Try and till 6 inches or deeper. If you can do that and bring it up and constantly turn the soil, that's a great thing. The other thing I like to do, and some people will disagree with this, is put plastic over the garden area that you're going to use. I till it and then put plastic over it. What does that do?
Solarize it.
Solar. But in the wintertime, do you think it's going to do much of anything to encourage or kill weeds? No. In the summertime, it would be a really good way to kill weeds. But in the wintertime, all it does is it encourages the seeds that are dormant to sprout. And of course, if you're trying to start a new garden, tilling and then killing is a great way to do that, because it'll get 70, 80, 90 degrees in the daytime. You get 5 days of 70, 80, 90 degrees, and then pull that tarp off and expose it to cold weather. You've killed a lot. Yes, ma'am?
Where do you get barrels?
Where do I get barrels? Actually, the feed stores have barrels. The Home Depot will have barrels of some kind. I used to get plastic barrels and just cut them in half, but I've found all kinds of these cattle feed barrels that are blue and green. I've used those. And what I do with those is I drill holes in the bottom of them, little tiny holes, and then about 8 holes around the side at equal distance. And what that does, if you raise it up about 1 inch off the ground for the first set of holes on the side, and then another inch above that for the second set, it allows the soil to breathe. It allows any excess water to go through. The little holes in the bottom are for the root system of the plants. When the plant, say tomatoes, goes through that hole in the bottom, you can't overwater and you can't underwater the plant. It will survive. In fact, I grow trees and shrubs in my nursery using that method. And this summer I took a vacation, and basically the guy that I hired to do my watering did not water. And you could tell the things that were growing in the ground that had roots through the bottom of the barrel, they all survived. The ones that didn't were very brown.